Slice, what's up, what's up, what's up? Today I want to talk to you about focusing on the good. It's so easy to always be, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing that. But you need to be aware of how much you're correcting and count the interactions that you're having with your child to make sure that there's more positive than there is negative, harping, yelling, nagging, repeating yourself. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because that is literally writing on their self-esteem slate. So when I was teaching, it was like my first year, and I don't know if any teachers are out there, but it is a very hard job managing all those behaviors on top of all the curriculum expectations. Plus, I was like, what am I doing? And then these behaviors were so unexpected, okay? And so I had a little boy, his name was Mark, and he had a lot of problems and a lot of problems with self-control, talking, hitting, biting, the whole thing. It was in first grade, and he was still biting. So he was sitting at a little table by himself doing his work, and I'm just, a very green teacher. I think I was like 21, 22 years old, and I remember something he said that literally spun my teacher a whole career on a dime in this one moment. We were, I was harping, dip, you gotta do this, stop doing that. And then he said to himself, he didn't even say it to me, he said to himself, she seems like she's always mad at us. She seems like she doesn't even like us. And I'm telling you, I love these kids. I mean, they were like my first class, and they were so sweet and so amazing. And when he said that, he wasn't even saying it to be naughty. He was saying it out of his heart, that was the image and the message that I was sending to him. And I went home that day and I was like, things are going to change, Kelbell. And they did. From that point on, it was a defining moment in my career. I focused on the good. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. And I made sure that my interactions were more positive than negative. I made sure that I filled up the love cups of the kids like Mark, who needed it the most. When I'm thinking, why is he so challenging? Well, now I know he's the one that needed it the most. And so focus on your interactions, count them throughout the day, and keep a mental tally. Positive versus negative. And the more positive you have, the less negative flare-ups you'll have. I was in a really, really, really toxic relationship during the same time. And I was crying to my mom and, oh, Mom, when is this going to change? And I know he's going to change and blah, young love, but 20s love. It wasn't like teen love. And she said, Kelly, I want you to take a calendar and I want you to count your days. You should have more positive days than you have negative days together. And I was like, well, I already know the answer to that. But then I couldn't believe how many negative days there were. I actually broke them into two parts, morning and afternoon. And then I counted them and I was like, wow, and I got out. So it's just two examples of how when you focus on the positive, the negative will go smaller. And also if you are constantly giving out negative, 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 you are going to get negative, negative, negative in return, especially with kids, because they just mirror what they see and feel every single day. It's not where you take them or the presents you buy. It's how you make them feel. Think about kids think about people in your past that have made you feel special. If it wasn't your parents, then teachers or coaches, or how did they make you feel? You remember that. You don't remember anything you guys talked about or did or anything like. You just remembered the way they made you feel. So replicate that and transfer that into your kids, because they're not going to remember anything other than the way the way you make them feel, and then they're going to turn that into themselves to develop their self-worth and self-esteem. I love you guys, and just focus on the good.